Hello everyone. I don't really have a topic this week, but I have to come up with something because I promised myself that I would get an episode out every week. I've had a lot of stuff come up in the last weeks that is sort of blocking me from feeling consciousness, I guess you can say, that has sort of blocked me from speaking truth. So I am sort of stuck trying to come up with things from my mind, and that's not good. That's not the point of this. And I don't really know anything. I have no knowledge. Not enough to talk about anyway. I'm no expert. I have not delved into specific topics. I cannot really talk about Buddhism. I understand it, I know it, I live it, but I wouldn't be able to teach it or talk about it. I have no, what do you call it? I have no credentials, or I have nothing to show you, why you should listen to me. Same goes with anything else, really. I only have the direct experience, and that's sort of foggy right now. So yeah, so I thought I will just babble and see what happens, because I guess we all do go through these phases where we just get stuck, or we just don't know, where a lot of feelings come up, thoughts are present, and you sort of get lost a bit in them. I think that's a pretty normal human experience, and we got to get through that as well, right? So that's what is happening with me right now. My life is a little bit turbulent at the moment, but I think all of our lives are turbulent most of the time, especially when that's where you're looking from. So how do you look from somewhere else? How do you look from a place where all is well? So I spoke to a friend, and I don't remember how we got to the topic or what exactly we were talking about. I think I was saying something about, there's good and evil, there's good and bad. So both is present, both has to be there. You can't have one without the other. And she said, she understands that, but she just can't rest with it. And she was using the political situation at the moment in America, which is affecting the whole world, where 2024 and Trump was elected for the second time. And I don't know what's going on. I don't listen to the news. I don't watch anything. I don't listen to the radio. I have no clue what's going on. And I don't want to. I have no desire to know. But she was just using him as an example, and just, if we had the information, we could make the right choice, and if people just know, then they can make the right choice. And she thought, that in America right now, she's like, how can people do this? How can they vote for him? And he's doing all these, he's lying. It's so obvious. How can people be blind to that? How can they be blind to the lies? Because if you're not blind to the lies and then you will make the right choice, which would be, in her eyes, against Trump. And then good wins over evil, good wins over bad. So she was sort of coming from, how can we have the right information so we can make the right choice and have peace on earth? Because she has an incredible heart. She's one of those few people in this world left with just a massive heart and so much love. I know she would walk through fire for me. And I would for her. But she's one of those few, you know, she has her heart on her sleeves. She feels it all of it. Which is so beautiful. I love it. And she just wants, you know, she couldn't rest with that. You know, there's good and there's bad, and that's just normal. That's how it is. That's how it'll always be. She couldn't sit with that. And then I was trying to think, I understand where she's coming from. And I was trying to think, how can I explain that you can see this good and bad from a different perspective, you know, from a different plane, where the good and evil doesn't start, you know, with Trump, but where it starts in your head. And I have an episode about this already, so I don't want to really go into it again. What was it called? I forgot. But there is an episode about it. But anyway, so I was trying to explain to her, not from a place of knowing better, but just because I've seen it, I live it, I experience it, and I still feel it and sense it, even though right now I'm all foggy. But ultimately, the view of Trump being bad and you can make the right choice against him, that's the root cause of suffering, of the bad against the good. It has nothing to do with anything outside of you. It starts inside of you. It starts with your mind. This is what our mind does. Our mind is a program that works with good and bad, with positive and negative. That's the construct of it. It's what it's made of. So the mind isn't actually a thing that exists somewhere. The mind is simply opposites colliding and creating an energy, and that is our mind. That is thought form. So, so without good and bad, we wouldn't even exist, or we wouldn't know that we existed, or we wouldn't exist in the form of human beings. We wouldn't be able to exist in the world as we know it. The world as we know it, everything perceivable is good and bad, is up and down, light and dark. Otherwise it can't exist. You can't know light without also knowing dark. You can't have a light. You can't have light without a shadow. If there's going to be a light, there's going to be a shadow. It has to be. You can't separate the two. They're the same thing. So good and bad are the same thing, right? So wanting peace on earth, wanting to see everything good out there. This is so like, how do you talk about this? You're wanting good because you know bad. You wouldn't be able to want good if you don't know bad, right? It goes together. You can't separate them. They're the same thing. They're the same thing that you come up with, that you live in with your mind. Your mind, this is it. This is what you are. On this human plane only. You are the good and the bad. And everything you see out there is in you as well. That's where it starts. That's the root of all of it, is our mind, right? It's where the separation occurs. Where instead of having the one unity, like consciousness, this is very subtle, and this is why I can't talk right now. I feel so foggy. I try to talk about it from my mind, and I just can't do it. I know it, but I just can't put it into words. I'm just feeling it, I'm just living it. I tried to explain it with, playing a game. When I was little, I used to play Playmobil, which is like Lego, only better, much better. And I try to explain it like, you're building your town, you got your family, you got the father and the mother and the children, you got the dog. They live in this house, and then you have a neighbor, and it's, the mother with the children, and maybe they have horses. And then, friends down the road, whatever. Maybe they're not as important, so they don't get to really have their own house, but they come and go, they visit. I used to have a school, so I used to play school a lot. So they all used to go to school, and I had all these extra kids that went to school. And I needed all these different people with all these different personalities, doing all these different things and saying good things and bad things, and life just happening for my entertainment. That was my play. I played this, right? I could not just have one and nothing is happening and no one says anything. So you build life, you build a game, and to enjoy that, to have this imagination, to create all these different personalities and all these different people coming together and all these happenings, there's a lot going on, and there needs to be a lot of variety, different personalities, people clashing, people coming together and celebrating and being happy or falling in love, and someone dying, and it's all just one big dance. The good and bad isn't good and bad. You know what I mean? It's not a separated thing. This person is good and this person is bad. It's a whole interplay, a constant movement that creates this magic of life, that creates this magic of existence. Like if you can just stop thinking and stop taking everything personal, or taking anything personal, if you can just stop being a person right now, stop just being someone, just drop everything, just be completely empty. And just look around, actually look around what there is. It's incredible. It's like, it makes me speechless. It's perfect. It's perfection, But then we come in with our mind and we take it all personal and we get scared. And now we have to control and manipulate and we make a mess of it from the mind. But you don't have this in the heart. From the heart, you can see it all and you don't have to change anything. You don't have to, in the heart, you're not the person. There is no me against them. Me against you. From the heart, we're one. It's all one. It's one humanness. And the good and bad is not out there. It's in us. We all have all of it. Anything out there, anything perceivable out there is in us. And in that sense, then, if you quiet yourself enough, you can make that choice. What you feed. Do you feed the good wolf or the bad wolf? We have all the thoughts and all the feelings. They're not, special. They're not something that only you're experiencing. You can have horror thoughts, terrible thoughts, thoughts of, dropping your child out the window. Like, seriously, driving your car into the tree, burning down a whole country. It's nothing, unique. We've all thought it. We've all had thoughts like that, go through our minds. Doesn't mean we grabbed them and made them real, or then thought, we gotta do it now. But we've had the thought cross our minds. All of it. There's nothing unique to you. They're not personal. It's an energy. There's good energy and there's bad energy. Or not even. It's just it's a high vibrating energy, a low vibrating energy. We label it as good and bad and whatever. And if we step out of that far enough to see that that's not us and we don't have to take it personal, then we can sort of feed the right energy. We can feed the good. We can see the fear that's making us want to separate from someone, distance ourselves from someone because we don't like their behavior, or we don't like what they said. And we can feed that me against them, and I'm going to stand up for myself, because I'm this big person and I deserve whatever, and you breed this separation. Or you can see it. You can see it arising in you. You can see it arise in them. And it's the same. It's the same thing. Everyone's operating under the same thing. It's all just one big movement. And if you can just see that, then you can make that choice. It's not a choice, but anyway, for the sake of this, you make that choice then to say, I don't want to be like this. I don't want to live like this. I'm going to choose differently. I'm going to just, send love. I see my predicament. I see their predicament. I see our predicament. I see the big dance of, like the Playmobil world that I built as a child and how I am doing all of it. And it's all there. And I choose to stay soft and empty and loving. And I keep my heart open. And I love all of it. From me, from inside me, I choose to move from here to here and to stay here. And I see the pain come up. I see the confusion. I see the fog that I have right now, where it's hard for me to, where I feel a lot of anger at the moment. I feel, hate towards people at the moment. And I choose not to. I am not going to play into that. It is there because I'm human. I'm alive. But I don't like that. I don't want hate in my heart, in my body. Forget about putting it out into the world. I don't want it. It starts with me, and I don't want to live like this. I don't want to be angry with anyone. I want to love everyone. I have to love everyone. Because they are me. And if I hate, then it's in me and I'm hating myself. There's no, at some point, you just gotta see it happening and stop being so involved and taking it so personal. Yeah, shit happens. People do terrible things and you're gonna get hurt. That's life. What are you gonna do? Yes, we can say, I don't deserve it and hate them and make them apologize or change your situation and move away and do whatever. Whatever is happening and do something about it and, tell them they did you wrong and get them to apologize or whatever. I don't know. There's a lot you can do, yes. But you're going to do that for the rest of your life. And wouldn't it be easier to just see that we're all one, and that if someone hurts you, then they did that because they didn't know better, and that is in you too, that sometimes you don't know better either, and maybe you hurt someone and you never meant it, and maybe in that moment you didn't know better, and what now? You're going to live the rest of your life with this regret because you made this mistake when you just couldn't do better. And aren't we all doing this? Aren't we all in this? We are. And when you take yourself out of it, when you take the personal out of it, when you become nobody, like Ram Dass says, you become nobody. You're in training now to, you became somebody, and now you are in training to become nobody. And when you do that, and you become nobody, and you just stop, there is a lot of peace. There is a lot of love to go around for all of it, for all of life, for good and bad, because you see that this is all just the one. It's all just perfect, and you're not going to get one without the other. So you're not going to be able to walk through life without getting hurt and without hurting others. This is the nature of humans. But now you get to choose. You know, how do you want to live? Where do you want to live? Do you want to live up here or do you want to live down here? From where do you want to live? And if you choose to live from your heart, you're going to at some point just have to see that your thoughts are crazy and that they will not stop. And the more you move into your heart, the stronger they're going to get to keep you locked in there. The more they're going to make you want to be righteous and, you know, see others as other. And you're going to have to just say, no more. I'm not going to react. I'm not going to react to my thoughts anymore. I just empty myself. I'm just going to empty myself. I'm going to keep loving myself and everyone else. Your job becomes just to stay soft. Even when you're in the fog, when you just don't know and you can't see. And you feel a lot and there are thoughts and there are emotions and you feel like you're lost in them and you can't really, there's no clarity. And your thoughts are telling you that there's a lot to do. To stand up for yourself, to fix your life, to make choices for yourself, for the betterment of you, because, you know, you don't want to be a doormat or you don't want to be taken advantage of, you don't, you know, whatever it is. And you see that, and instead of reacting and doing, you just stop. You do nothing. You see the thoughts for what they are, just thoughts and energy. It feels icky. You don't like it. It's separating you more and more from other people. And you just decide, okay, well, they're there, okay. And it feels icky, okay. And I'm just not going to do anything. I'm going to breathe. I'm just going to stay here and I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to be. While I'm foggy and while I feel the separation and this mind storm, I'm just going to not do anything and I'll just breathe. And my job now is to not take anyone out of my heart. And I did, so my job is to put them back in. Okay, so we're going to mess up, and that's okay. You know, that's okay. So now put them all back in your heart. Open your heart. Soften your heart. Understand that we're all just in this together. There's no enemy. We have no enemies. We're all together. We're all... There really can be only love, you know? There's nothing against us. You know, ultimately, there's nothing against us. The only thing maybe that is against us is our own mind. And only if we're blind to it. But once we see, then even our mind isn't against us anymore, you know? Yeah. I think I can end with that. Maybe that'll do for this week. Yeah, just again, soften your heart. Don't put anyone out of your heart. Just find that in you, that space in you, that heart space. If you can live from there, you'll be fine. You will be fine, and everyone around you will be fine. Feed the right wolf. You know, feed the good. If you can't see, and if you're foggy, like I am right now, if you're foggy, just feed the right wolf. Feed love. Feed compassion. Be kind. Even when inside you want to scream and be angry, just be kind. And if you can't be kind, just do nothing. Just be quiet. You know, it's okay to be quiet, to have days and even weeks where you just don't do anything, where you become quiet and go into yourself. It's like hibernating, you know, hibernate. Wait out the storm, the mind storm, the emotions, until you get that bit of clarity again. And then try again. That's all it is. Just keep choosing good inside for you, no matter what's going on outside. Doesn't matter if the world's burning down. Doesn't matter if people are horrible to each other, killing each other. Just focus on you. That's the only thing you can change. That's the only thing you have control over. Just you choose to do the right thing. You choose to do good. And that's it. And that's all we have to do here.